A boy is getting beaten in a school hallway. Students film it. Nobody moves. Then a stranger walks in and drops the bully with one punch. The government sent him. His name is Nahwa Jin, and this is only his first day. Jae-young-min wakes up every morning and wishes he could get into an accident. Nothing fatal, just bad enough to sleep through graduation. He makes it to school anyway. And the first thing he sees is his classmate Daesuk standing on the edge of the roof. Then Daesuk jumps. The outcast stick was simple. Whoever held it became the school's official target, the person everyone had permission to humiliate. Daesuk had earned it by doing something no one else had the nerve to do. A substitute teacher was being humiliated by a student named Jun-young, son of a city councilman, untouchable since birth. Jun-young told her she was useless, that his father could make her permanent if she behaved. Daesuk stood up and hit him, said he had had enough. The stick passed to him the next day. Jung-min watched all of it. He tried reporting it, gave names, described incidents. The teachers looked at him like he had asked them to take on the entire city council. Jun-young's father had political reach. The school depended on his goodwill. The bullying continued. When the police arrived after Daesuk's death, Gong-min felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, the possibility that this time, something might actually change. Jun-young's crew destroyed that hope in 30 seconds. The police would close the case. They always did. Na took over Daesuk's class, called attendance, reached his name, and stopped. Asked if anyone knew why their classmate had made that choice. One student laughed. Said Daesuk had failed his exams and killed himself like an idiot. Na crossed the room, grabbed the student by his collar, and dropped him. Then he ordered the entire class into plank position. Jun-young told them not to move. Na grabbed Jun-young's head and pressed it into his desk. Everyone, now. They dropped. At lunch, Jun-young pushed to the front of the queue. Na stopped him. Jun-young knocked food onto the floor, a performance for whoever was watching. Na made him kneel and clean every piece off the ground himself. Jun-young called his father. Councilman Ryu Gwang-pil arrived the next morning with the full weight of his office and informed Na that his career was finished. Na grabbed Jun-young by the ear and dragged him back to school to finish cleaning the bathrooms he had been assigned. That evening, Na visited the councilman at home, not to negotiate, to inform him that his son had left before completing his duties and would be returning to finish them. Ryu asked if Na understood who he was talking to. Na said, a student's father, nothing more. What Na didn't say, and what Minister Choi Gang-seok had been preparing for 2 years, was that Ryu Gwang-pil's file had been ready for a long time. The ERPB's function was not only discipline, it was exposure. Reporters received an anonymous tip covering bribery, financial misconduct, affairs. The councilman found the minister waiting for him in an empty auditorium while his campaign collapsed outside. Choi told him directly, "You were not the target, your son was. When you fall, he falls with you." Ryu Gwang-pil was arrested within the week. At school, everything reversed. The students who had followed Jun-young for years handed him the stick. He was the target now, and he had no idea how to exist on that side of it. When he reached his limit, he got gasoline and locked his classmates inside. Na walked in and lit a lighter. Jun-young screamed at him to put it out. Na looked at him and said, "This is what Daesuk felt. This exact fear. You gave it to him every single day until he had nowhere left to go." Jun-young broke apart, begged. Na extinguished the flame, but told him clearly Daesuk was gone. No apology would bring him back. Jun-young would carry that for the rest of his life. That was the sentence no court would give him. After the case closed, Na and the minister visited a grave, a woman named Choi Ga-yoon. Na stayed longer than necessary. He always did. She had been his fiancée, a teacher. 2 years earlier, one of her students had killed her. The courts gave the boy a minimum sentence. Na had tried to run him over outside the courthouse. The minister had stopped him. Then the minister made a promise, "Win this election, and I will build something in her name, something that actually works." The ERPB was that promise. Bong Geun-dae transferred into Gun Technical High School and spent his first 10 minutes wondering if he had walked through the wrong gate. The school was split into 2 permanent factions, automotive and electrical engineering, fighting daily for the chance to be recruited by Jong Kon-huk, a senior with a criminal organization outside school who selected his best fighters from the winners. A student named Hongju had stopped fighting back. He was quiet, focused, and genuinely wanted to be there. The factions had turned him into a measuring device. They tested techniques on him and made him rate the hits on a scale of 1 to 10. Bong helped him carry his bag home that evening. Over noodles at Hongju's kitchen table, he understood that this boy had accepted everything because he had nowhere else to go and nothing to hold on to except the idea of graduating. What no one at Goon knew was that Bong was not a student. He was a deputy director at the ERPB, young enough to pass as a transfer, with the kind of face that got bullied on sight. The camera in his glasses had been recording everything since day one. Na gave him his next assignment: provoke them. Get everyone into the gymnasium. Bong walked into the cafeteria, found the most intimidating student in the room, and raised his middle finger. They chased him all the way to the gymnasium. Na locked the gates. He told them, one option, beat him and leave, or stay and learn. Every student in that gymnasium charged at him. A few minutes later, the floor was covered. Songwon, Imbom, every department head, all down. Na had barely shifted his feet. When Songwon announced that education was pointless, Na loaded him and Imbom into a car with no doors and drove them through the school grounds at speed. Fast, precise, completely controlled, stopping on a single dime. The students who had spent years worshipping the wrong things finally saw something worth paying attention to. Kanhuk showed up eventually. Motorcycle, entrance, crowd. Challenged Na directly in front of his people. Na let him land a hit. Let him throw him to the ground. Let the chanting start. Then he stood up. When Kanhuk called in outside backup, Na walked out to the gates alone. Went through every one of them until the driveway was quiet. He brought Kanhuk back inside and placed him in front of Hongju. Then told the entire school, if you owe anyone an apology, this is where you start. Hongju stood there not knowing what to do with it. He had spent so long absorbing other people's cruelty that genuine kindness had nowhere to land. Then it did, and he could not hold himself together. That was the real end of the case, not the arrests. That moment, in that gymnasium, where a boy who had been a measuring stick for other people's punches finally heard someone say, "You deserved better than this." Yeri had 600,000 followers. Her camera was always on. Everything around her was content. When a teacher confiscated her phone during a lesson, Yeri went home and edited a video. The original showed the teacher helping a student remove gum from her hair. Yeri trimmed it to look like a salt. Posted it that night. By morning, the teacher's home address had been found. Then the school his children attended. He could not make it stop. He died by suicide days later. Even after his death, people showed up to film content at his funeral. His colleague Teacher Young knew the truth, went directly to Yeri and asked her to take the video down. Yeri turned on her camera mid-sentence and told her followers she was being pressured by staff. Teacher Young became the next target before she had finished speaking. The principal called Yeri into his office and asked what she wanted. She said, "Make Teacher Young my homeroom teacher." He agreed. Im Han Rim walked into that classroom looking like someone who might trip over her own feet. Yeri identified her as an easy target within seconds and instructed a friend to ask where she had her plastic surgery done. Han Rim looked at her and said, "I had breast reduction surgery actually." Exercise. "You girls probably don't need that." The classroom went completely silent. Han Rim told Yeri to end the live stream. Yeri refused. Han Rim kicked the phone out of her hand and crushed it under her foot, then introduced herself. ERPB Inspector, former Special Forces. From this moment, nobody in this room talks back. She confiscated every device, including the ones hidden in bags and under desks that students were certain she hadn't spotted. Had Bong run a full analysis of their social media overnight. By morning, she had a folder. Illegal photographs, private information posted publicly, coordinated harassment campaigns with timestamps. While Hanrim ran the classroom, Na worked on the teacher. Young was ready to quit. Her reputation had been destroyed before she could defend it. Na showed her messages she had not known existed, from students in her own class, the quiet ones, who had written privately to say they knew the truth, that she was a good teacher, that they were sorry. Then he told her about Gayun, about losing someone who had refused to be afraid of her students. He asked Young not to be afraid either. Jung went back into that classroom and stood differently. When Yeri refused to answer a question, Jung called her forward and struck her palm with a ruler, then told the class, "I will not be intimidated again." That night, Yeri opened her phone to rebuild, found her account empty. Bong had deleted everything and uploaded the unedited original footage, the one where, at the end of the edit, Yeri laughs at her own camera, the construction visible in a single frame. The internet turned on her by morning. She showed up at Jung's apartment that night with a knife. During the confrontation, Jung fell from the balcony. Na caught her, took the impact himself, stood up bleeding and waved off help. Han Rim stepped onto the balcony and looked at Yeri. She did not threaten her. She told her, "You have to keep living. You have to wake up every morning knowing what you took from the world." That is the sentence, not arrest. This. Teacher Chan was the kind of educator who inspired documentaries. His students consistently ranked among the top university entrants in the country. Students from ordinary families got the public version of Chan. Honung had been top of the class for 3 years. He had never been invited. A student named Honung had attacked him. Deliberately, not impulsively. Han Rim pushed until he talked. Shortly after Chan visited his parents as a welfare check, their family restaurant received an anonymous complaint and was shut down. Then the private tutor his family had hired stopped lessons without explanation. Honung believed Chan had orchestrated both, deliberately cutting his support so that a wealthy client's child could climb the rankings. Bong ran the numbers. Students ranked 2 through 11 at Chukmong all attended the same private academy, connected to Chan, open only to families who could afford the arrangement. Honung, ranked first, had never been invited. Na confronted Chan directly, named the pattern. Chan smiled and walked away. That evening, Chan met with one of his wealthier clients. Her daughter sat at 11th. She wanted the top 10 guaranteed. He told her he would handle it. What he did not know was that Bong had planted recording devices in the academy during a routine visit. Before the operation could complete, it collapsed. Chan's connections reached into the judiciary. Na, Han Rim, and the minister were arrested simultaneously on misconduct charges. Before they took him, the minister quietly signed one transfer document. Bong was the only free member of the team. The night before the exams, Bong broke back into the school and reordered every question on every paper. Not changed, reordered. The content was identical. Only the sequence was different. The next morning, the daughter who had memorized leaked answers in a specific order scored 0. The paper she had prepared for no longer existed. Na was released in time. He played the recording, voice, money, arrangement, captured without ambiguity, for the entire school board. Chan was arrested in front of the colleagues who had praised him for years. Honung stood in the corridor and said almost nothing. He had been right all along. He had only needed someone to believe him first. The call that brought them to Hongjung Elementary did not come from the school. It came from Jason's mother, who had read her daughter's diary and found a line that stopped her. "Will this only end when I am gone?" Han Rim arrived in time. She sat with Jason until she understood she was not alone in the room, then told her she needed time off, that a substitute had already been arranged, that her class would be fine. The substitute was Nahua Jin. Within 15 minutes, one child needed the bathroom, another was crying about a stolen crayon, and a third had climbed onto his back without warning. Na stood in the middle of the room, looking like a man who had dismantled organized crime and had absolutely no idea what to do with a kindergartner. He figured it out, badly at first, then slowly, then with something that started to resemble genuine warmth. While Na ran the class, Jison's story came through in pieces. She had loved that job from the first day. She had spent months slowly reaching a withdrawn boy named Yujin, building him a safe space, sitting through his difficult moments, watching him open up. Then his mother started calling. Messages at all hours, about tone, about posture, about a look Jason had given Yujin during a lesson, about an Instagram photo the mother had no right to find. Jason reported it to the principal, who told her to delete her social media. She deleted it. The calls continued, then home visits, then a formal abuse complaint, filed the day after Jason asked Yujin to apologize for injuring another child. The investigation ran for months. Her name was leaked online. Parents began withdrawing their children. She had done nothing wrong, followed every rule, and it had destroyed her anyway. Na took the situation the way he took everything. He became her. He called Yujin's mother constantly. Morning, afternoon, late evening, questions about Yujin's sleep schedule, his snacks, his preferences. The calls did not stop. When she finally stormed in demanding he stop, Na looked at her and said, "Now you understand what it felt like." He paid a visit to the father's office, got on his knees in the lobby, and performed a loud, extended, thoroughly public apology, employees stopping to stare, begging for forgiveness, asking what he had done wrong, refusing to be quiet. The husband came home that evening furious at his wife. The dynamic that had sustained her behavior collapsed. The case did not end with Na or Han Rim. It ended with Yujin. He called Jason himself and asked to see her, stood in the hallway and said, "I am sorry for what my mother did to you. I think she does not like me sometimes. She's always shouting and she never smiles when she is with me." Jason held herself together long enough to tell him his mother loved him, even when she showed it badly. Yujin's mother watched through a window. She saw her son's face while he was saying it. Something shifted that no legal proceeding had been able to move. Both parents were prosecuted. Jason's record was cleared. She went back to her classroom. Na, Han Rim, and Bong were driving back when they saw it happen in real time. 4 boys, a stolen car, a girl in the back seat with her hands tied. Han Rim stopped the vehicle by sliding a wheel under it at speed. At the station, the boys leaned back and said it like a rehearsed line. "We are 14. We are minors. You cannot do anything to us." They had used that line before. It had always worked. They were right about the law. They were wrong about Na. The girl's name was Ha-yun. The team found her locked in a storage cabinet, bruised with pills in her bag that were not hers. They had recruited her with compliments about her appearance. The dependency came fast. Then the leverage. She was selling for them within a month. When she tried to stop, they beat her. When she reported them to the police, they were released within a day and came straight back. Han Rim looked at her and said, "This time is different." Ha-yun had heard that before. She waited to see if it was true. Na drove them directly to a juvenile facility, not for a visit, to stay. Inside, their age gave them no protection. The other inmates had longer sentences and no patience. For the first time in their lives, the boys found themselves somewhere their usual tactics meant nothing. The facility worked on them slowly, not through direct punishment, through atmosphere. Every room they walked into, they were the smallest people in it. Every table they sat at, someone older and harder had already claimed the better seat. The confidence that had made them untouchable at school had no currency here. Nobody was impressed, nobody was afraid. Nobody cared who their parents were. When the parents arrived demanding release, Na laid out the evidence. The drugs. The months Ha-yun had spent afraid. He brought Ha-yun into the room. The boys apologized. The ringleader tried to sound sincere. Ha-yun looked at him and said, "I will never forgive you. You turned my life into a nightmare." She meant it entirely. The minister told the parents their request was denied. Their age had protected them from the law. It would not protect them from the years they now had to spend with themselves. A man walked into ERPB headquarters with a folder thick enough to contain a full investigation. His son had accumulated an 85 million won gambling debt through an app targeting students. He had sold everything to cover it. His son had disappeared. The minister listened without interrupting, then said, "You are a brave father. We will help you." Bong went undercover. The app was everywhere. Students winning small amounts at first, then losing bigger, then borrowing at interest rates that compounded daily. 800,000 won could become 3 million in a single month. The system was designed to create dependency fast and make exit feel impossible. The app had been designed by someone who understood exactly how teenagers thought about money. First win was always fast, always bigger than expected. The platform sent notifications timed to moments of boredom. End of lunch, late at night when studying had stopped feeling productive. It knew when to push. The students who got in deep were not reckless. They were competitive. They thought they had found an edge. The app had been designed specifically for people who believed that. Na told Bong to play it himself, demonstrate how it worked. Bong had a background in mathematics and was genuinely confident he could beat it. He was broke by the next morning. The gang offered Bong a loan. All they needed was a family contact as collateral. Han Rim posed as his mother when they called, but the moment she stepped away to buy food, a vehicle pulled up and took him. She had been gone less than 2 minutes. She did not stop blaming herself. Inside, Bong repaired their server infrastructure, kept his head down, cataloged every distribution route and hierarchy he could observe, and when he found a platform banner he was allowed to edit, he encoded his location in Morse code and waited. Han Rim solved it. Na found the right address. She went through the front first, found Bong unharmed, grabbed him by the shoulders and went over him completely, checking his hands, his face. Before she said a single word, Bong noticed everything. He did not say anything either. Na caught the leader before he made it to the street. The conversation was brief. Na explained what the man had taken from how many families, the homes, the savings, the years. Then he gave him something to remember the explanation by. Hyun Min Jun collapsed during an exam. His mother's first question, before she knelt down, before she checked whether he was breathing, was, "Did you finish all the questions?" She gave him a pill and sent him back to his desk. She had structured her entire life around one goal. Her brother-in-law was a doctor. Everyone respected him. Her son would be one too. She had sold the family home to move closer to the school. She had removed his bedroom door so she could monitor him at all times. When legal supplements stopped being enough, she found something stronger. Pills a woman in her network swore would improve rankings. The grades jumped. She kept giving them without asking what was in them. Min Jun had been doing this for 3 years. Not because he wanted to be a doctor, not because medicine interested him, because his mother needed him to be one, and he had never found a way to tell her that her need was not the same as his. He had tried once in middle school, told her he thought he might like to work with computers. She had looked at him and said, "Your uncle is a doctor. Your uncle is respected. Do you want people to respect you or not?" He had not brought it up again. The ERPB's testing program caught it. The substance in Min Jun's system was not a supplement. It was the same compound the 4 miners had been distributing, the one that attacked the heart. He had been 1 dose away from a very different conversation. Na removed Min Jun for medical care. Then he turned to the mother. Same desk, same schedule, same meal portions, same sleep restrictions. He removed her mattress the way she had removed her son's door. She lasted 2 days. Bong was the one who found the opening. He sat with Min Jun in the hospital library and asked what he had liked doing before everything became about the exam. Min Jun thought about it for a long time, then said he used to just read anything, without a purpose. Bong put a stack of illustrated children's books on the table between them. Min Jun opened one, laughed at something on the 3rd page. A genuine laugh, the kind that surprised him. Bong told him there was nothing to be embarrassed about, that figuring out what you actually enjoyed was harder work than any exam he had ever taken. When Min Jun recovered, she came expecting to discuss the next exam cycle. He told her he was not sitting the entrance exams this year. He was not going to medical school. He was going to figure out what he actually wanted. She tried to argue. He was already walking away. If someone spends their entire childhood performing a life they never chose, and one day stops and says this is not mine, is that failure? Or is it the first honest thing they have ever done? Choi Jeol came back. He had served his sentence. The law permitted his return. Any public opposition from the minister would have been framed immediately as personal revenge, and the political opposition had been waiting for exactly that opening since the bureau was founded. Na went to see him, without warmth and without threat. Be a student this time. That is all. Jeol smiled. Said nothing. 3 days later, Jeol walked into the ERPB with photographs and documentation. A student named San was being exploited by a group led by a boy called Chi. Na investigated. The case was real. Chi's group had been using San for years. His hotspot, his accounts, his personal information for transactions he had never agreed to. When San tried to report it, Chi pre-filed against him first, turning the victim into the accused. The committee ruled in Chi's favor. San sat outside in the corridor and said nothing, because he had run out of ways to make people believe him. Han Rim enrolled as a transfer student, introduced herself as someone with accounts for everything, happy to share. Chi's group welcomed her without hesitation. She handed them her phone to connect. Bong had them compromised within 60 seconds. When Chi worked out what had happened and came at her, Han Rim put him on the floor, then started screaming. She played the victim, exactly the way San had been played. The committee reconvened. She revealed herself mid-hearing. The full evidence went into the record. Na made Chi kneel in front of San, not as theater, as obligation. San's mother put her arm around her son and apologized for not believing him. That night, Jeol showed Na what he had actually been doing. He had run a parallel operation from the moment he walked back into school, had manipulated Chi from the beginning, given him the corrupt lawyer, engineered the committee situation, manufactured a recording of Chi saying his life was over because of the ERPB, then fed it through the political opposition to the media. He had not reformed. He had been building a structure designed to destroy the bureau. Then he told Na about Gayun. She had discovered his drug operation 2 years before her death, and she had not gone to the police. She had gone to him, alone, believing there was something in him still worth reaching. He described what he had done to her without pausing, said she had been too curious, said if she hadn't been, maybe he would have married her. Na hit him. The minister stood at the podium and did what 2 years of preparation had made possible. He named everyone: corrupt politicians, wealthy parents, administrators who had buried reports for years. He read it out, name by name on camera. Then he said, "This bureau does not exist for revenge. It exists because the system that was supposed to protect students decided protecting itself mattered more. We exist in the space that decision created." Jeol made his final move, took San as leverage, stabbed Na when he intervened. Han Rim secured San. Na, bleeding, moved toward Jeol. He had every reason. The anger was real. The grief was real. He stood over the man who had killed Gayun and chose deliberately not to. He told Jeol, "This is your last chance too. The same one she gave you." Then he stepped back and let the law take him. Jeol had no answer for the first time. Ne closed his eyes. For a moment he saw her. Not grief this time. Something quieter. They went to her grave together. Na, Han Rim, Bong, the minister. The headstone was surrounded by letters from students who had never met her. People who owed their safety in some indirect way to the fact that she had existed and had refused to be afraid. Na read some of them. Did not say much. On the way out, Bong grabbed Han Rim's hand by accident. They both stopped moving. The minister noticed. Na said, without turning around, "They are obsessed with each other. They just haven't figured it out yet." Han Rim told him to mind his own business. Bong agreed with her completely. Teach you a lesson does not ask you to agree with their methods. And if a teacher named Gayun had to die before anyone asked that question seriously, what does that say about the world she spent her life trying to protect? If this story stayed with you, stay with me. There are more stories worth your attention. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next immersion.